Introducing the A51 Keene Sluice box. Today I'm going to be telling you guys the mattings in it, how it runs, my own personal opinion, and the overall rating. Now the A51 Keene Sluice box actually has 4 catch systems to catch your gold. First you have your classic rib matting, then you have some Hungarian riffles, some mesh, and some carpet. This here is where at least maybe roughly 60 to 70% of all your gold would be trapped in your sluice. The rib matting, however, is just classified as an indicator to see whether you're getting gold or not. One thing that I do like about these 3 catch systems in this part of the matting here is actually the mesh, because the mesh actually stops larger rocks from penetrating through into the carpet, because if they do, it'll knock all of your gold out, so the mesh is great help. Now, one of the most powerful things about this catch system is actually the Hungarian riffles. When the current and the flow is running over this matting here, the water will come over this Hungarian riffle, and it creates a Yeti current. And the Yeti current acts like a dream mat, just in like a different way, sort of. And it goes like this. The current will go like this, and while it's doing that, it'll wash all the lighter things down the sluice. So you can see on the first 2 Hungarian riffles here, they don't have like these flatted tops on them. These 4 ones that like the flats on the top, they're like your emergency ones, because your gold should never be coming down off this section, this section, and occasionally you might get a wee bit in this section here. Now, unlike the A51A Keene sluice, which is sort of like a creek sluice, you don't really want that running in a river, this actually has a handle on it. Same one to the A52 Keene sluice. From experience with the mesh though, however, is that, well, where is it? I'll try and find it. Oh, here it is here. You can see that it's actually snapped. The mesh is actually snapped right here. So for some reason, the mesh actually seems to be extremely fragile. And this actually happened when I was cleaning it out, and I accidentally dropped a rock on it, and it seemed to actually snap. That isn't going to interfere with catching your gold and how your sluice will be running, but always do take care of your equipment inside your sluice, as that is what is catching your gold. Now your carpet, however, I don't actually think this is the exactly same carpet from the A51A Keene sluice, which is that creek sluice. But you can see in the carpet here, these little riffles here. These like these little bumps here that act like riffles, but in between the riffle, you'll see there's like this little slit here. This little slit. I haven't really noticed any extra help with them, as I actually don't even see any black sand getting caught in the splits. But no matter what, no matter how much you clean the carpet out, there will always be microfine dust trapped in this carpet, and that's the great thing about it. I always see sometimes I'll be really washing it out really thoroughly, and yeah, I always like see the next day and stuff when the carpet's completely dry, I'll be like poking around in there, and sometimes there'd be a wee bit of gold. Now the rib matting's just your average matting. There's nothing too much special about it. It works extremely good, however, rib matting in your sluice actually is just classified as an indicator to tell you whether or not you are getting gold. The A51 Keene sluice box is maybe nearly 2 times wider than the A51A Keene sluice box. I think it's actually the same width of the A52. It's shorter though, there's not much length to it, but compared to the A51A Keene sluice, it is much larger and much efficient. You can move way more material through this. Okay, now sometimes you'll go to set up your sluice. It's running good, you got that V going, there's perfect pressure everywhere. But in this rib matting here, there'll be little air pockets. Before you run any material, stand by the sluice for like 30 seconds, make sure there's no air pockets, because those air pockets will prevent gold falling into this rib matting. That's what not a lot of people actually realise, I think, is that these air pockets that sometimes pop up in the rib matting. But I think if you run unclassified material, it might help prevent it from happening. Now here's a clip of the A51 A Keene sluice box. And here's me feeding
just wet some of the material as it's easier and better to run it wet.
The comparison in size. If you want to see this whole video, just go to my TikTok at KiwiWizzyGo. Now, this is how your sluice box should be running through this particular sluice, just in my personal opinion anyways. So just like any other sluice, you need your V, and when you have your sluice running really good, you might see a few diamonds down this wee run here. You might see a few diamonds and a V. Now, when people are talking about like water level in their sluice, you can have it as high as you want and how low as you want, just depending on like the strength of the current running through your sluice. However, I've actually seen a clip of someone not using Hungarian riffles, but something really similar to Hungarian riffles, and their stream was so shallow, it didn't even go all the way over this Hungarian riffle here. So, in order for these Hungarian riffles to actually work, you need it going at least that much higher over the Hungarian riffle here. Think of the top of this golden bar here as your most lowest point as your water flow can actually go. Otherwise, all your material will just be getting rushed straight under the screen mat, shooting straight out the other end of your sluice box. Now, one of the only things I actually don't really like about the sluice box is actually the flare. As you can see, it's very similar to some of the Dream Max sluices. The flare is actually like bent down on the side, obviously hug in more current. Now there's two types of flares. Obviously there's this one, which you mainly see in Dream Max sluices, and then sluices like the A52, the A51, A Keene, and a few others. Sure, there's plenty out there, but the flare actually comes out here without the wool actually bending. The flare will come out here, and it just gets more current through the sluice. It's actually hugging in more water. Now, one thing that I do see a lot of people do with their mesh is they don't actually have their mesh facing this way, upstream. The higher end has to be facing upstream, as it'll be acting like a riffle, and the gold will just get all piled up in this one little socket here, well, along all those little sockets up in there. If it's not facing the right way, there's basically no point of even having mesh, as the mesh actually acts like a mini catch system, really good for fine sands and microfine gold, as most of your gold and black sands would actually be under the Hungarian riffles here. Now on to my personal opinion. I think it's actually reasonably really good weight, not too heavy at all. Perfect if you're going hiking up in the bush, like going up to remote creeks, trying to find the source. Very good if you're going camping. Really easy to set up. Really trustworthy, just like every other Keene sluice box. Really trustworthy, especially when it comes to fine gold. Not many sluices are. This sluice box is pretty affordable if you're looking for a long-term sluice box that's really trustworthy, very efficient. You can move lots of material through. This, when I bought it, it costed all up roughly around $420, roughly. Yeah, with the amount of gold it's actually caught me just within like a few months of using it, which I'll show you a video now. That was all the gold this sluice box has caught me within a few months. Very efficient, very trustworthy, well worth the money. And finally, my overall rating, out of 10, I'd have to give it at least an 8.5. And if you're looking to buy any gold equipment, go onto Dredgen Z. It's the local gold prospecting shop in New Zealand. Very good quality.